You're watching KSL Sports Live.
We hope you're enjoying the Olympics, but remember, college football is right around the corner, and we want to get you ready. For the next half hour, we'll take a trip across the state and preview the 2024 college football season. We'll start on the Big 12, where the Utah Utes have found a new home. After a successful run in the Pac-12, which included back-to-back championships, the Utes hope to continue their winning ways in a new power conference. And that is exactly what is expected to happen, at least in year one. According to the media, the Utes are picked to win the Big 12 championship. They received 21st place votes. The Kansas State Wildcats were close behind with 19. Oklahoma State, Kansas, and Arizona round out the top 5.
I'm as excited and enthused about the season as I've ever been. A lot of that is the excitement about going into a new conference, the new challenge, the new opportunity.
The competitive fire still burns for Kyle Whittingham as he enters his 20th season as Utah football's head coach. It was announced publicly this summer that defensive coordinator Morgan Scalley has been given the title head coach in waiting. Scalley will take over the program whenever Whittingham decides to hang up the whistle. Well, it's not today. Kyle's as energized as ever, and who could blame him with that roster he has coming back this season? So many talented and experienced players running it back. A chance to win the Big 12 in their first season in the conference, and the first ever 12-team playoff is on the way. It's all on the table for the Utes this season if they handle business.
First of all, changing conferences presents new challenges, new opportunities, and so that's in a way like getting a new job, and so it's energizing in that respect.
It gets us going before every single game, the little sayings that he has, but it feels good, and for him to say that, it honestly gets me fired up too. But no, I'm just ready. It's been a long time coming, and I'm just excited to get going and get on the field.
He doesn't change. He's always going to be the same guy, making sure that everybody's getting fired up, having good body language, doing everything we possibly can to get better that week and that day, really. So just having him makes a world of change. He's the reason why we're so tough, because he is tough himself, and he's also smart, so that kind of just rubs off on us and makes us just that much better.
That's our leader. That's the guy we look up to, and for him to have that, after last year wasn't our best year, and I'm glad he feels that way, because we all feel that way. So it's great. So we're hoping for a special season.
There's so much, and there's so many of us players that this is our last goal, right? And so we're just as hungry. So to hear our head coach say that when the normal man might be a little burnt out, he's ready to go, so that fires us up.
Now, BYU seeking motivation during fall camp. This will provide the fuel. The Cougars picked to finish 13th in the new 16-team Big 12, picked behind Colorado and Baylor, but ahead of Cincinnati, Houston, and Arizona State. BYU finished tied for 11th in the 14-team Big 12 last season.
I compare it to being a father for the first time. And before we had kids, we had all these opinions on how you should raise your children, things like that. And then when we had our own child, it was like, man, we didn't know anything. We just had to go through that experience. And so it's hard to get everyone ready for that. You just have to go through it.
Never in my life have I related more to what Coach Kalani Sitake experienced last season. Nothing can prepare you for your first child more than just experiencing it day by day, right? It's a great analogy. When kid number 2 comes along, you feel like, okay, we got this now. But then, of course, the child has a problem that the kid number 1 didn't have. Well, you're still learning, right? Kind of feels like that will be year 2 for BYU in the Big 12. We will see. Kalani and the Cougars hope to grow up a lot faster. They will be more experienced and better equipped for year 2 in the Big 12. But no doubt, there will be still some growing pains. BYU had just 2 conference wins all last season. As bad as that sounds, it will only take one more win for BYU to become bowl eligible this season if they win those non-conference games. It's a goal the Cougars have, and they're confident they can achieve it.
And so going into this year, knowing what we're getting ourselves into and expecting, I think we're a lot more prepared, and we have some vets coming back. We've played together now, and I think it'll show on the field when we bring it all together.
Each game was super close. We did get blown out a couple of times, but I think we're so close. We're right there, and just if we just keep being consistent with our season this year, I think it'll turn out good.
Understanding the level of competition that we're going to face week in and week out, right? And the toll that it's going to take on our team, the potential injuries that it'll have and the impact those will have. And then, at the end of the day, the challenge of executing against more skilled, players again, week in and week out.
after our last meeting before the year ended, we knew like this not something we want to do. You don't want to go home in November. You want to be able to play games in December, January, and things like that. So we know that that's not a good feeling that we had last year.
Now that we've gone through it, I think there's been a definite learning process that's taken place. Now the guys know what to expect. They know what to compare it to. They know what to prep for, and there's just been a sense of urgency already that's taken place. So it's already moving in the direction that we want it to. There's some things that didn't work out in our favor last year, but it's okay. I think we highlight and praise the things that we did well, and then improve on the things that we can improve on.
We're entering a new era of college football, the 12-team playoff era, and there's more access than ever before to a national championship. And Utah and BYU, thanks to their membership in the Big 12, have a shot at that golden ticket. It's more realistic for the Utes and the Cougars in 2024, but with a Big 12 championship comes a top 4 playoff spot and a first-round bye, a fact that has energized both programs as they pursue that ultimate goal.
With a 12-team expanded playoff, where BYU is at now, just 2 years removed from independence, in a position where realistically you guys can play for a playoff spot. Is that a topic of conversation amongst the team that, hey, we're not that far away from getting there?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, it's something that's exciting when you open up that college football playoff and know that, hey, if we win the Big 12 championship, we have a shot of winning a national championship. And it's just that much more exciting when it comes to college football. And with this team, I know we can do it. I know we can just take it game by game and keep winning. So it's definitely a goal of ours. You know, we're not shooting short of anything, so I think we can do it.
For sure. We don't want to go to a regular bowl game. And first thing is we have to win the first game, second game, 1-0 every single week, win the Big 12, and everything will take care of itself. But obviously the goal is to go to the playoffs and hopefully win it.
I think it's going to be incredible for all the teams across the country because it creates that opportunity to be able to just get a chance, you know what I mean, to get into the playoffs. It's easier to get into playoffs, and then it's going to be easier to have an opportunity to go play for a national title. And so, yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a hot topic right now.
You win the championship in this conference, you go to the playoff.
Yeah, that's our goal. Just win the Big 12, and then we can get right to the party and get a bye week right there. So that'll be a great time. We just got to make sure we get to the party right there with that.
Yeah, always. I mean, even if we were the last team in the division, like, we're making our way up to a championship. That's what the plan always is. Yeah, we're kind of used to being underdogs, so I think just our move up to the top is always the focus. So
we will be rewarded for winning that conference. Nevertheless, we do have to win the conference, and so same formula as winning the Pac-12. We got to take it one game at a time and stay healthy as well.
That also means a college football playoff appearance.
Yeah, man, and it all starts just by week, one by one, and so I guess we just got to take it at week 1, August 29th, and just keep leading up to there. But, you know, we don't want to get too far ahead, but you just know we'll be excited every week.
Imagine getting to the playoff. That's got to be on the vision board, right?
No, for sure. It's on the vision. For sure, it's on the vision board.
The path is there. It's kind of been defined. And for us, in our situation, we've never been in this situation before. It's win the conference and you're in. So that makes it a lot more simple for us to follow. And we're looking forward to competing for that and then hopefully making that happen someday.
Our players are excited about the opportunity that we control our own destiny. If we're able to win the championship in the Big 12, we are going to the playoffs. We don't have to hope somebody votes us in.
Yes, we are entering a new and exciting era in college football. We have to take a short break. Our college football preview continues with the latest on BYU's quarterback battle.
It's like, all right, man, these guys are looking good, man.
BYU fans' ears, the Cougars need one of the quarterbacks in the room to step up this fall and turn their struggling offense around. Who has the edge? Who is better to ask than the players in the huddle with them, right?
Just want to go down there and whip pretty much. That's all I'm focused on.
A little trash talk never hurt anybody. The rivalry returns in 2024, and the stakes have never been higher or the platform. Players and coaches look ahead to the BYU-Utah game. Why will the game be bigger than ever? We'll explain next.
Can't tell you that there's a deadline other than when we know, we will know. And we have 4 quarterbacks that have played college football. All 4 of them have played college football and started games, and that gives me a lot of confidence. I mean, last year we had an injury to our quarterback position, and you know, we had to learn from that. So we have a much deeper position with the quarterback. But
there are many questions about the BYU Cougars this fall, but the number one question, it has to do with the quarterback position. Who will be better and who will start this fall? How much better will they be? And will the starter that emerges from this group be able to turn around an offense that ranked 120th in the country last season? That will determine how successful the Cougars will be in year 2 in the Big 12. And who better to ask than the guys in the huddle with them?
Quarterback competition has been kind of the highlight of that, and that's going to continue into fall camp. What do you like as a wide receiver about seeing guys compete for that position?
It's the leader of the team. I mean, your quarterback is the one who runs a lot of the offense, or the whole offense, and the momentum of the whole game. Having that competition there has bled into every position group, even offense and defense, and it's created this fire, you know, accountability with each other, and it's been great for the team.
Well, I just want them to make each other better, right? And I think that's what they've done. Like, there's competition in every position, and there should be. Or it's like, you know, when you've got someone chasing you, you run a little faster, you know, typically. And I think they've done a great job of handling it this whole offseason, where, you know, it hasn't been hostile, but they have been pushing each other very hard on the field, doing sprints in the weight room. They're always competing with each other, and it's making them better. They both have improved a ton, not only during spring ball, but as we've gone into fall camp now, and just watching them throw the ball during our player run practices and stuff. And it's like, all right, man, these guys are looking good, man. They're making strides.
It's up there for the taking, and I only know one way, that's to play the best guys. And we've been in this position before where we've had quarterback battles. I think both players can become better from it. I think all 4 players that I mentioned, quarterback can improve and get better. It's just whoever deserves the starting nod will be the guy. But knowing this game of football, man, it can be tough to go with one quarterback the entire time. We might have to lean on a next quarterback just in case of the injuries. That no one's immune to injuries here. So I like that we're a deep group, and I like that we have guys that have played Division I football, and I think that's gonna work well for us.
When you chose BYU, you knew there'd be an opportunity. Do you embrace this quarterback competition that they've got going on through the summer?
Oh, love it. Love it. I mean, everything you do in life is a competition. You want to be able to compete, that way you both elevate you guys' game. Like, you don't want to go in and just have something handed to you because you don't feel as good. Like, competing makes you want to work, makes you work harder. It makes you want to, like, you find new things to work on, and you find maybe something he's better at that now you spend time to focus on and learn from him. So that's the best thing about competing. You can learn from each other.
We talked about the possibilities. So many people said, boy, Brett, that Utah-BYU rivalry could be fantastic in your conference. There are great rivalries from top to bottom in this conference, but at the top is Utah and BYU.
In a world where conference realignment rips apart some of the great rivalries in college athletics and the tradition, the stars have aligned and the Big 12 has revived one of the best in college football. The battle for the bronze boot, the Deseret Duel, the Holy War, whatever you choose to call it, it only makes sense that BYU and Utah face each other every season. And on November 9th, that will happen once again in 2024. And for the first time on the Power 4 stage. It was a hot topic of Big 12 Media Days. You heard the commissioner even talking about how important the rivalry is to the conference and will continue to be for the Big 12. Utah had a 9-game win streak in that rivalry, of course, before BYU put an end to that in 2021. But the game hasn't been played since then. However, the talk of this fall's matchup, it's already getting a little bit spicy.
I just want to go down there and whip pretty much. That's all I'm focused on.
Now BYU can go into victory formation. They have not said that in this rivalry in a long, long time.
I'm so excited. I was on the sideline when we beat them in Lavelle. So excited to go there and be able to experience, that feeling again.
Yeah, I'm very excited. They're a great program. Just ready to play in the Holy War again. I played in it 2021, so I've been looking forward to it again and see some of the guys I know up there and just play some football. So.
To overtime, and it hit the upright, and the game does end. And for a third time, the Utah fans storm the field.
as conference foes as well. Does that add anything extra to it for you as a player?
No, it doesn't. I mean, obviously they beat us the last time we played, so we have a little chip on our shoulder with that. But as far as them being in the conference and things like that, it's just another team that we have to play.
2007 Mountain West Conference champion, BYU Cougars.
The players are so connected, friends on both sides, high school teammates on both sides of it. It's a lot of fun, and it's definitely a competitive game.
It's a lot of fun because I'm homegrown, so growing up in Utah, the Holy War was a major part of college football, and there are two national brands, and so it's become a national rivalry.
He turns and keeps it straight ahead inside the 5 and into the end zone.
We never gonna lose to them. They so poo-poo.
Oh, I'm excited. I think whether we're in the same conference or not, this game always has its own juice. We don't have to be in the same conference. But for the state of Utah, the fans, family, we're just going to put on a show. I'm excited for it.
Team. Hall watches it. He's got Carly waiting on it. Catches it across the 40-yard line.
It's good to know now that they really don't like us, so we really don't care too much about that either. So we're just gonna go out there and play our game. I feel like it's great to have it back. I feel like college football needs that, just for both fan bases. Whether they want to admit it or not, they know to hate us, they need to play us.
Oh, stepping, throwing, intercepted. It's picked off in the flat. 10-5, and it's a touchdown.
Stakes are higher, and it's gonna make this game a lot more, I guess not more serious, but it's gonna be a lot more competitive. And so, best of luck to both.
He's got to run to the right. John Beck is on the run. He throws behind him. It is caught for the touchdown.
Rivalries come full circle now, back to where it was in the Mountain West Conference. It's the biggest sporting event in the state of Utah any given year. And, the community, the media, everyone gets very excited about that game.
And it just makes sense. It makes sense for BYU and Utah to play every year. So I'm glad that I'm here. I mean, I've been part of it as a fan and part of it as a player. Now it makes sense that we're supposed to be in the same conference and playing this game every year.
To hate us, you have to play us. Gotta love that. All right, we've hit the Cougars and the Utes. Now let's check in with the Aggies coming up. An off-season of controversy and tragedy in Logan. How will this team rise above it all and exceed expectations? You'll meet the interim head coach who has the task of that challenge next. To imagine what members of the Utah State football program are going through right now. They're mourning the tragic death of transfer defensive back Andre Selden Jr. And that was after all the drama surrounding the firing of head coach Blake Anderson and several other members of the Utah State Athletic Department. Just weeks before the season begins. With Anderson out, the school turns to interim head coach Nate Dreiling. 6 months ago, he'd just been hired by Anderson to be the Aggies' new defensive coordinator. He and his wife and their 3 kids packed up and moved from Las Cruces, New Mexico, and relocated to Logan, Utah. He barely had one spring to install his defense and sell the players on his system. Now he has to get them to buy all in, all over again, as the 33-year-old has been thrust into head coaching duties.
It was definitely a shock. I think it was surprising to all of us. None of us saw it coming.
I mean, our relationship that we've built together is unmatchable. So, I mean, it was shocking for sure.
It's been a whirlwind of emotion, not just for me, but for all the players, right? But one thing I can say about it is that looking and finally meeting with my players Monday morning, the resiliency that this group has, that's what we talked about. Circumstances, they don't define you, but they do reveal you. So we're going to use this moment to come together, right? Have a chip on our shoulder and come out swinging.
I've only known him for a couple months, but the time that I've got to know him, he's a great coach, player's coach for sure. He really cares about us.
Without a doubt, his main focus is making sure that us players are in the right position to be successful. And he's got a very successful track record as a defensive coordinator. And I'm excited to see what our team achieves this year.
The Aggies were picked by the media to finish 7th in the Mountain West this season. With all that's gone on over the past 2 or 3 weeks, it'll be an uphill battle to finish better than that. But this Aggies roster has the talent to do it.
This is a very talented team, right? And our goals are exactly what they should be. You come to Utah State to win a conference championship. So that's what we're going to continue to work for, right? And if we do tweak something, it's going to be for the betterment of the team.
The best players are the ones with their backs against the wall. I mean, unfortunately, we have our backs against the wall right now. But I mean, we're going to come out and we're going to surprise a lot of people, and I'm just excited to see it. So
there's more of a need now than ever for player-led, player leadership. I mean, time will tell what we're capable of. I think our goal and our expectation should be to win a Mountain West championship. All we have control over is our preparation, and I think with our talent, if we prepare the right way and go about our business, the sky's the limit.
The Aggies could turn this story into a great one by the end of the season. Up next, what are expectations at Weber State? And where are Southern Utah and Utah Tech predicted to finish in the United Athletic Conference? That and much more coming up right after this. Weber State football wants to win a ring. The Wildcats hope to improve on their 6-5 season last year and contend for a Big Sky football title under second-year head coach Mickey Mental. Big Sky Football Media Days took place in July in Spokane. The preseason media poll out and released, and Weber State picked to finish 6th in the conference. Of course, Big Sky, one of the best conferences in FCS football. Junior defensive lineman Braden Wilson was named to the preseason Big Sky All-Conference team. The Wildcats are a young team with just 8 seniors this season. They'll kick off that season August 31st on the road against new Big Ten team, the Washington Huskies.
I love where the offseason has gone. I think they've come together well as a group, pushing each other. They're all in it for the same reasons, and excited to see it come together.
The United Athletic Conference coaches poll is out. Southern Utah picked to finish 3rd. Central Arkansas picked to win the conference. Southern Utah had 2 players named preseason all-conference team. Defensive lineman Rylan Suafilo and linebacker Connor Cullimore. They opened the season at Utah August 29th. Utah Tech picked to finish 8th out of 9 teams under first-year head coach Lance Anderson. Long snapper Ryan Keene, their only all-conference selection. They open against Montana State.